Went through Clark Hall, the Science and Engineering Library. This is the big first-year library because, as you'll see shortly, when we hop over to first-year living area, it really is very close. I do want to mention safety here. I think a lot of people probably have a few questions about safety around grounds and what Charlottesville's like. Well, this is not a closed-off campus, so you do get a flow of people. Also, this is a small city, so there are a few isolated incidents. But to give you an idea of Charlottesville, it was ranked the #1 place to live a couple years ago by Frommer's Travel Guide. And one of the main things that went into that ranking was crime rate. But UVA does take extra steps to help you feel even safer. We have blue phones, which you've probably seen already along the tour. Hit the button, and the police are guaranteed to be there within 90 seconds. There's also Safe Ride, 2 big white vans driven by Charlottesville police officers, run every night during the hours our regular transportation system doesn't run, so roughly about midnight to 6 a.m. They'll pick you up wherever you are and drop you off pretty much wherever you would want to go within a mile radius of grounds, which honestly is anywhere you would want to go. They're completely free of charge, no questions asked. So most students either have the numbers memorized or programmed into their phones. Another option is Yellow Cab, which is kind of like a taxi, but affiliated with the university. So let's say you're not using Safe Ride for some reason, and you don't have any money. You spend it all on the vending machine at the library, studying all night, and you want to get home. Call up Yellow Cab, and you can charge your fare to the Dean of Students. They'll pick up your tab, and it's on your honor to pay the university back. Before we move on, I want to mention our secret societies. I think it's a unique part of UVA, and I like to talk about it here because you see the marks of 3 of our main secret societies right here. Anybody that's seen these marks around grounds has probably wondered what they were. There are a lot of Z's on stairs, and there's Z's right here, and IMPs and 7s. We have about 20 to 30 secret societies at UVA. Some don't do a whole lot publicly, so it's hard to know exactly how many exist, but we think around 20 to 30 secret societies are here at UVA. The IMPs, the Z's, and the 7s are the backbone of UVA's secret societies, and they go in that order of level of secrecy. IMPs have completely open membership. Everybody knows who an IMP is. When they want to initiate somebody, they all dress in black capes and they have devil horns and pitchforks and run around the person they want to initiate 3 times, saying their name backwards 3 times, and then that person is an IMP. IMPs are practical jokesters. They play a lot of pranks around grounds. Now, the Z's are more secret. You don't find out who a Z is until they graduate. They wear rings at graduation with Z's on the ring. And it's been speculated that they're trying to become more secret because fewer and fewer people have been wearing their rings upon graduation. The 7s are the most secret and perhaps the most interesting. You don't find out who a 7 is until he or she dies. Then there are 4 main ways that you find out who that person is. First, a black wreath in the shape of a 7 mysteriously appears on the casket. 2 is that our alumni newsletter prints an obituary saying a 7 has died. 3 is that our Cavalier Daily, our student newspaper, prints an obituary, the only time it does print obituaries. And 4 is that our chapel bells ring 7 times at 7-second intervals on the 7th dissonant chord on the 7th minute past the hour. And then they play the good old song, which is our fight song. Now, nobody knows how you can become a 7 or when you are asked to become a 7. I will say they're completely philanthropic, and they give a ton of money to different groups around grounds. They gave $100,000.77 to the new basketball arena, and they always give in increments of 7. We're now in one of the main first-year living areas. This is McCormick Road housing, what we call old dorms. And about 100 feet up the hill are Alderman Road housing, new dorms. Neither are really that new nor that old. They're built within 5 to 10 years of each other. But the main differences between the two are just how they're laid out. So old dorms follows the hall or corridor style. So you have a hall of 10 or so rooms and 1 big bathroom per hall. New dorms is set up in the suite style with a large common room and 6 rooms spiking off of that room, 1 of which is a bathroom and the other 5 are bedrooms. I particularly like old dorms because that's where I lived. You'll find people are partial to where they spent their first year. It's kind of a rivalry between the 2 different dorm areas. So if you lived in old dorms, You'll get to know the people in your hall really well. And if you lived in new dorms, you'll get to know the people in your suite really well. All the dorms are co-ed, but the floors are single-sex. So the bottom 2 floors usually tend to be guys, and the top 2 floors tend to be women. Generally, there are 2 to a room, but there are a couple triples in new dorms and a couple singles in old dorms. If you know someone coming to UVA, certainly you can request to live with them. But personally, I suggest just go random. I think it's part of college, not knowing anyone, everybody's new. The dorms don't have air conditioning, but it really is only hot the first couple weeks you're at school. There's a laundry area set up inside each of the main dorm areas, and for security purposes, your swipe card only gets you into the dorm you live in. If a friend's visiting you, there's a phone outside of the main doors. They can call you when they get here so you can come down to let them in. Per every suite or hall, there's a residential assistant, or an RA, an upperclassman that's there to enforce the rules and to be a resource if you have trouble with your physics homework or with a roommate. The RAs also organize bonding activities for your hall every semester. You have to live on grounds your first year, and about half the student body chooses to move off after their first year. You're guaranteed housing on grounds consecutive years if you would like to stay. But old dorms and new dorms are completely for first-year students. So there are a lot of other choices around grounds for upperclassmen, like the traditional residential colleges and some semi-apartment-like dorms, which are suites with small kitchens. First years can't have cars on grounds, but getting around is really very easy. This is a walking campus. There's also a really good UVA and Charlottesville bus system, both of which are completely free to students, and they'll take you anywhere in Charlottesville you'll need to go. For getting home, there's an airport, train station, Greyhound station, all in Charlottesville. There's also a home ride bus system that takes students to other parts of Virginia, and there's a ride board where you can find other students that live in your area that are willing to give you a ride home in return for some gas money. Thank you so much for joining me on this tour. It's been a lot of fun showing you UVA. If you would like more information about the University of Virginia and the admissions process, please go to virginia.edu/undergradadmission and sign up for our mailing list.